What's up, everybody? Colin here, founder of Wild Foods and theancestralmind.com, and welcome to this training video. We're going to talk about some fun stuff. If I could get my computer working the right way, I'll need this timer. I guess I'll set a timer just so I can kind of see where I'm at. What does it take to be successful? But not just financially. Personally, spiritually, etc., right? Like how to be happy, how to live an effective life. I'm going to just talk to you some about the big things that come to mind. And this topic is something that is like a never-ending thing you have to be doing, a never-ending thing that you have to be thinking about, a never-ending thing that you have to be working on, training for, filling your mind with through books, through trainings, through videos, because we all, as Homo sapiens, run into problems because our biology, living in this modern world, is mismatched. And so that affects our happiness. It affects how we spend our time. It affects how our brain works. And then all the things that we do in our modern world, from technology to how we spend time together, how we relax, how we entertain ourselves, how we distract ourselves, how we use drugs, etc. These all further affect us, right? And what happens is, most people live lives of quiet desperation. I believe it was Emerson or Thoreau that said that. Now, look at this real quick. Most people live lives of quiet desperation. Or put another way, most people spend their entire lives focusing on the wrong things, getting very little results, and then ultimately accepting what they have, or better put, settling. This is the default for most people. Now, you're watching this, so in some way, you're maybe not the average person because you're trying to level up, you're trying to think about how you're living, how you're spending your time, etc. But most people don't even go here. Most people don't even consider how to get results in life, how to be happier, how to live better, right? Like they don't even have the awareness to ask themselves the question, like, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And I'm happy, or am I not? Is this thing I'm pursuing, the thing that society has told me I need to pursue, the money, fame, social media, external validation, is that actually bringing me happiness? Right? Is that actually going to fulfill me? Or I'm just hoping it is. And my timer's going because my gluten-free pizza is in the oven. So I'm going to give 5 more minutes. So there's obviously a lot of different things to unpack here, a lot of different rabbit holes we could go down. But the one thing that I want you to focus on today is primarily work, because if you can get down a good work habit, you can then choose what you spend the majority of your life on. And for most people, work is, they spend like a third of their life on it. And if you're doing something you don't enjoy, it's going to be very hard to live a well-balanced life that is full of happiness. Now, it's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible to do this, but I'm saying, you're a human creature, and it's just hard to accept doing things you don't like doing on a daily basis. It's just very counterintuitive to your genes and to your mental state. So if you can get good work habits down, you can take those habits, those skills, they're really skills, you can apply them to anything. You could start your own business. You could be a freelancer. You could work remotely. There's unlimited power that you can get when you are a good knowledge worker. And so today we're going to focus primarily on how to get those skills. And then as you venture out more into your own and you do other trainings, you can try to answer some of the other big questions about purpose and passion and meaning and the impact you want to have in the world, etc. But we're going to just today focus on something actionable, which is going to be how to get a solid deep work routine down, and then how also 2 other things that you need to do, how to read and absorb information, and then the fact and some strategies for that you need to ignore other people and what they're doing for the most part. You need to focus on you. And too much of our world, too many of us are focused on the external world. So the first thing is a deep work routine. Now, deep work is 1 to 2 hours a day when you can get into a flow state. Okay. Now to get into a flow state, and that's a broader topic, there's a really good book on that by Nihai Csikszentmihalyi or whatever, it's called Flow. This is something that we all really want to pursue, and they've even done, like, his entire book asserts that finding a flow state and getting into it regularly is a way that we can be happy as humans. So that's why, that's one of those fringe things that it's like people that have found their passion and found work they enjoy, it helps them be happier because they are getting into flow on a regular basis. Now, the thing that really matters when it comes to deep work or flow state is, let's get the pen for this. No distractions. Okay, so that means no phones, and this is a phone. I don't know how to draw it nowadays. Okay, so somehow this is a phone. No people. So no people, because people are very distracting. And then your environment. So is that is a coffee shop or office. O for office. I gotta get better at drawing with the mouse. Your environment is one that you may not be able to find it at home. Like, for example, when we had our son Daro about 8 months ago, I was having trouble getting any work done, even though I have my own office, because I can hear everything that's going on in the house. And I just was always distracted. I would, maybe I would feel guilty if the baby was crying, that I wasn't helping, or stuff was loud and it was distracting. I had to find a better solution. And so I kind of built my schedule around that. After I realized that, I did something to alter my environment and develop a lot more consistent deep work routine instead of just kind of like letting it come each day. So, and scheduling when it comes to deep work is a big thing. Because if you have a job, if you have family, whatever, you have to find a place and a time that you can go to do your best undisrupted work. Now, they say when you're distracted, it takes about 20 minutes to get back to the same state. That's pretty crazy when you think about it. Every time someone interrupts you, every time your phone, a notification, somebody walking by even, like you can be distracted from a visual point of view. These are all things that can pull you out of your flow state. Generally, the best place for most people to get into flow and to find a good deep work routine is like a library or a room where nobody is around. Now, sometimes that can be hard to do. I know, like locking yourself out in a room when no one's around, it's hard to do. Like right now I'm in our studio, nobody's around and nothing's distracting me. It's just me, you, and the screen, right? And obviously my gluten-free pizza in the oven, which I'm about to eat in 25 seconds. So you got to try to find places where you can test this out. It might mean you hopping around for a week for different coffee shops. Maybe you find one that faces the wall. Maybe there's a co-working room in the back. There's a lot of different things you can try, but you have to find a place and then a time to get this work done. All right, I get my pizza, so I'm gonna pause you. Let me pause you. Okay, I'm back, and I burnt my tongue and the roof of my mouth because I can't be patient. Well, at least when it comes to food. All right, so we were talking about developing a deep work routine and how schedule and environment are the two most important things. For regardless of what you're doing, I mean, it could even be for your current job. It could be for a side hustle. It could be for your art. It could be for the book you're writing, a play. Every single human alive today that is contributing to society needs to have a deep work routine. 1 hour is the min that I try to encourage people to start with. It could even be 30 minutes. Go to a place at a certain time, something that you can do every single day. If you have to fluctuate based on the day, that's fine. Get some kind of schedule down and get in the habit of going to this place to do this for this period of time. 30-minute timer as a minimum, or an hour, whatever you think you can commit to as a baseline, and get that down for a month. No notifications, no phone, no messages, no email, just picking some of the highest value work that you can do. A good book to read on this topic is The One Thing that will help. I mean, ideally your work, your flow state work, your deep work should be the stuff that really moves the needle. If you're writing something, obviously writing would be it. If maybe you're a CEO or a business owner and you just need to think, these are all fine things to do. Just think, take notes, etc. Maybe you're a painter, paint, writers write, etc. So this single thing could actually bring you more success and long-term happiness than almost anything else you could do in your life at this point. And I say that as it's kind of a bold statement, but I just know the effect it can have. I know how important it is as well when you don't have it. So getting a deep work routine with no distractions, no notifications, an hour a day minimum. Ideally, you would get to 2 to 3 hours a day. And you're even going to hit a ceiling, which is cool about this, because for most of us, we don't have the mental energy or capacity to do more than a few hours of deep work a day. And really, that's where most of your results come from. Like if you read Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, he talks about how he's able to get so much done, even though he never works outside of his like 8-hour workday. And then, you know, he's got like a 3 or 4 hour deep work window every day. And then he's got like his office hours and the shallow work around that. But he doesn't work on the weekends, and he doesn't work past, I don't know, like 6 p.m. or whatever schedule is. And he's gotten so much done. He's a full-time professor. He has written 4 or 5 best-selling books. He's published a ton of papers. It's crazy, and it works, but you have to commit to it, and you have to find the environment and the schedule that works for you. Okay? I could end the video here. It could be just about deep work, but I want to talk about 2 other things before we move on for today. So the other thing you need to do, you need to ignore what most other people are doing. Now, this is even more important today in our social media world. So let's see if we can erase this. How's this work? There we go. It's not big enough. Eraser size. Maybe I'll just do a new board. Okay, sorry guys. This software is a little bit new to me. Let's see. All right. Oh, I have to register to get more pages. Let's just see if we can clear the whole page. All right, there we go. If you want to see what I had before, you know, you can write the notes down, go back into the video. Now, what we had 2 things on the spectrum, okay? Separated by a line. We have fame, and we have results. So this could be biz results, life results. Let's just put happy, okay? Fame is just fame. Now, what the problem here is most people think that this equals this, or this equals this, or should equal that, right? But that's neither are the case. In fact, what you're seeing now is the more that social media kind of becomes a thing and ingrained in our lives, the people that have the fame here, they have this. A lot of times they don't have this over here. Now, that's strange if you think about it. Like most people would think, oh, I got 10,000 Instagram followers. I'm therefore have a brand, a business, or making money, or whatever. I know somebody that has 400,000 Instagram followers, and they make pretty much this in money from it. $0. Now, if I had 400,000 Instagram followers, I would make a lot of money. I could turn that into $1 million a year business minimum. But that's, you know, again, they're different things, different skills, okay? So what we're really trying to talk about today, I got to figure out how to use this software better, don't I? It's cool, though. You can draw with your mouse. I highly recommend it. It's awwapp.com, and it's free. You know, obviously get rid of these ads on here if you want to pay for it. But it's kind of cool. If I had one of those drawing pads, too, I could use that. So most people are drawn to this. They're drawn to fame. It looks cool. The people that have it, you know, you think their life's amazing. You think they have and know things you don't have or know, right? But this is all illusion. Okay? This is what you really want. You want results in business, life, whatever. You know, and when I say business, it could be work. You know, there's a lot of different things that fall in this category, but it's basically living a good life in a modern world. Fame does not give you this. And a lot of times it can actually make it so you can't have that. And what you're seeing is people, especially the younger generations growing up, thinking they want this, they want fame, and they think it's going to give them this. They results in business and life. But they're completely different. And again, a lot of times if you chase fame, you're chasing the wrong things. You're chasing external validation, right? Which becomes an empty pit in your psyche that you can never fulfill. It's just like doing drugs or food or consumerism to get happiness from outside yourself. The thing is, the people that are getting the real results in life, they're getting these business results, these life results, etc. They are generally, not always, but just generally internally focused. So they have found things they love, passions. They usually make a difference, right? And they generally get more results because they enjoy their life. Okay? And that's really the thing everybody should want. We all want to enjoy our life. But you don't enjoy your life because you're famous. And a lot of times, the more famous you are, the harder it is to enjoy your life. So that's just something to keep in mind. But the real thing to be careful with this type of thing is, let's say you have a business, or you're a coach, or you're any business that isn't based on being a social media influencer, basically. Well, all the social media gurus and what you'll see your friends doing and what you'll be drawn to online is you'll think you want to get this. You'll think you'll want to build, IG following. You want to have a successful YouTube channel. You want to have 500,000 Facebook fans, whatever. But what you do when you pursue fame is you sacrifice the results for whatever it is in your life. So that could be for your clients, customers, or even just art, right? You give up like your deep work we just talked about, which helps you when you're doing deep work, right? You're doing something to improve your product or your art or whatever it is. When you pursue fame, you forgo all these things because they're not connected. In fact, the majority of being famous on social media, and I thought about this a lot lately, is having 11 to 15-year-olds following, liking, or commenting on your stuff. Because the majority of the demographic on social media that are even engaging this way are the teenage demographic. Now, if you're selling fake lashes or makeup or anything related to that demographic, then obviously we're going to have a different discussion about it. But for most people, you don't need to have millions of followers. You don't need to be Insta famous or Facebook famous, because the overwhelming percent, let's clear this board, but the overwhelming percent is going to be, where's my pencil? So 10 to 15 year olds. Okay. These little people, these little humans, they're great, but if your business or art, your market, whatever you happen to do, doesn't sell to this demographic, then being famous on social is a complete and utter waste. And I'm trying to draw a clock here. Time. I guess that's a clock. It's kind of fun to draw this stuff. All right. So let's try to summarize this. Being famous on social media does not inherently, it can, a lot of times it doesn't, make you happier, get you better results, or make you more money. Everybody thinks that's what you get from it, though. And a lot of times it can actually hurt you in all these ways. Okay. Also, being famous today is extremely risky. I don't, if you see the whole outrage culture we have, social justice warriors, people getting their losing their jobs, losing deals because of some comment they make or a bad joke or whatever. You don't want to be famous today. All it does is put a big target on your back so that if you're human and make any mistake whatsoever, it can have severe consequences. So it's a very inverted value proposition. It's like, if you attain it, there's a lot of negatives that come around with it. There's some very big risks that can come around with it, like until I would call them black swans, where something could happen or someone could dig up a tweet you forgot about years ago or a picture or whatever, and then it can really damage you and your brand or your business or whatever. I mean, there's people, I remember hearing a story about the guy who hunted this lion, and he paid to go on a safari to do a hunt. And they happened to kill a lion that wandered off the reservation onto this private land he was hunting on. He wasn't breaking any laws. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't know that this was a protected lion. This was a lion that they were tracking that was in a protected area. So he posted a picture about it. A lot of people, when they hunt, they post a picture about the animals that they hunt. Now, regardless of how you feel about hunting, the guy wasn't doing anything wrong. It was completely legal. And a lot of times these safaris, they pay for the conservation of the land by having people like him come and pay to hunt. So it's one of those things, like, you can't judge so harshly if you don't really have all the details. Yet he got death threats. He had people following him around. He had people, like, his business, all the negative reviews and people calling and causing all these problems. He had to literally move and hire private security, and it completely ruined his life. All because he posted a picture on social media of him killing his lion, and then later finding out that it was a lion that they had been tracking and that was like a beloved lion, it had a name and everything, okay? That is one of the risks of social media. Now, the upside, like his upside for posting that picture was almost probably zero. So like he would have been better off just not posting it. Okay, and so that kind of ties into why you ignore what other people are doing, but you also need to ignore what other people are doing because you don't really know what's getting them results. And social media really confuses this as well because, you see someone, maybe they bought their 10K followers. Maybe they spend all of their energy on this and as a result don't actually get results or make money or happy or whatever. Like there's a lot of illusions that are in place in our social media world. It's a curated, manicured thing. Like we don't know what the truth is. And when we pay too much attention to what other people are doing, we make inferences and assumptions about what they're doing and about how maybe we need to do that, right? So you're better off a lot of times just not even paying attention. Now, finally, to close out the video for today, these top 3 things for being successful. I mean, again, like these are, just three things out of a longer topic, a longer discussion, and something that you have to constantly be working on, thinking, course correcting, etc. But you have to read and absorb information. Now, my preferred way to do this is Audible and audiobooks. Scribe.com is an amazing resource, $9 a month, and it's like Netflix for books. It's super amazing. Everywhere you drive, everywhere you walk, anytime you go outside, have an Audible or an audiobook going. It can change your life. I read over 100 books a year. My knowledge in the past 3 years is the most it's ever been. Every year I feel like I'm 10 times smarter than I was before. Every year I look back and think about how dumb I was a year ago. And that's a good thing. I should be thinking that. You should be thinking that too, because that means you're growing. That means you're developing. Okay. And in our knowledge world, as people are talking about AI taking jobs, and when we have semis that drive themselves, I mean, there is going to be some major disruption in the job market. And if your job is based on you doing physical skills, your job will eventually be outsourced to robots or computers, okay? But if you can develop the skills of a knowledge worker, if you can read and absorb information, make complex connections, be creative, and have a solid deep work routine, well, you are safe forever, whether you have a job, a business, whatever. Okay? Guys, I hope this video was useful. Please leave some comments, questions, whatever, things you want me to unpack more, new trainings to do. I need the feedback because I need to know where to go from here. Always want to be improving this course, improving these modules, improving these ideas. So please let me know. You can comment to wherever this video is, or you can send us an email to ancestralline@gmail.com or info@wildfoods.co. Just put attention to Colin and I will eventually get it. So make sure you take some action. And the biggest takeaway for today is to find your deep work routine, even if it's 30 minutes a day. Schedule it, find out where it's going to be, and commit to that every single day. After you get it down for 30 days, turn it into an hour. Then get it to an hour and a half, then 2 hours, then maybe 3. If you could get 3 hours of deep work done every day, it could change your life. You could literally build anything you want, any business, write it, any book. Like it's literally life-changing. Thanks for watching.